Hi and welcome. It's so sorry, I like fiddling with stuff. It's so interesting how the people that you try to help, and this is like the vast majority of people, not just individuals. When you try to help people, people actively work against what you're trying to do. That is how deep the poverty mentality. My ear is doing something funny. That is how deeply entrenched that poverty mentality is in us. That even when people are trying to show us the light, we just want to stay in the dark. We just want to work against it. We're so opposed to being helped. We're so opposed to working to get out of things. We're so opposed to certain ideas coming from certain people that we are just going to challenge you and break you down, even when what you're coming up with may be very helpful for us. You tell people, hey, it's gonna take time, but if you guys put together a little money, month to month, week to week, whatever it is that you can do, and you work towards building this and building that and building that for your community, for your society, after some time, after some years, you're going to be at a much better place. They're not going to want that. However, tell the same people, hey, I'm a priest. I'm gonna create a big church. You guys can come in. I'm gonna give you a little words. I'm gonna sing. And at the end of it, you guys are all gonna have to put in some money in there. Because there's a higher power that requires that you put money in there so that your life gets better. And then they come. So a plan that is put in place that they can control is something that people don't want to go to follow. But an unplanned that doesn't have an end goal, just has a vague hope that your life will turn around. Just donate money, and the more that you donate, the more your life turns around. We believe that. Literally, you tell people to eat grass and they eat it. You tell people to, there's weird, crazy things that people have done in the hope for miracles. And you're thinking, if you put that energy that you're using to hope for a miracle, if you just took that energy and used it to take advantage of the power of compound interest, the power of numbers, the power of a societal goal that we all work towards in order to achieve something. If we did that, one day I had I'd say an argument, but it was really a conversation. And it really hit me how very, the word escapes me. Jeez. This guy really convicted. That's the word. How very convicted this guy was in his stance. I put it to him that I don't think it makes sense for us to be going to a church and then putting together a lot of money to buy the priest an expensive car. I mean, even a car to begin with is a bit much, but we actually want to get him an expensive car, and that's what we want to do. Of course, we can argue the big, expensive building and the expensive sound system and all that stuff. Sure, that's a completely different question. But here we are buying a very expensive car for one person. And I was like, you can literally get him a decent car, nice Toyota Corolla. It's inexpensive, very reliable, very affordable to run and maintain. Get someone that it has dignity. As a man of that sort of position in society, we will still respect you. In fact, if we are being normal humans, we should respect you even if you're walking. But sharp, say we need to get you a car. That's the car I think would make perfect sense. This is a man, like older man is old enough to be my father. He was so convicted in his stance that the priest needs to be seen that he is a priest. He needs to be separated from everyone. So this, I believe, is a smart man. He well, decently smart anyway. I think he has a good job, so it means he must have some certain level of intellect to be able to do that job. Has a family, has a house in a nice neighborhood, decent neighborhood. I believe he drives a car of his own. There's probably evidence that suggests that he's a decently smart man. Yet here he is advocating for a hierarchical system within the church, which is supposed to be a place in which everyone feels equal, a place in which everyone feels loved and everyone feels appreciated. Because all of us are here just to share the word so that we can get closer to a higher power. And this guy is here advocating for there to be a hierarchies in the church. That is what a normal human being advocates for. How we came to this point in our lives, I really don't get that. We don't understand that what we need to be doing as human beings is helping other human beings, making sure that humankind succeeds. Yet here we are having targeted missions. I'm going to make that one great. I'm going to make myself great. I'm going to do this for that one. Like, what about everyone else? What we don't realize with all the churches that we have, especially in the black community, that we should not be having poverty within these spaces, because the amount of money that we give to the church is really sufficient to be able to help people eat. At the very least, people should eat. Of course, I understand that the only two things that we need to do as human beings in order to survive is attain nourishment, which is food, water, and of course, extracting the waste from there, and breathing in air. Those are the things that we need to do. Here we are spending on buying a Mercedes Benz or a BMW or whatever expensive SUV that costs around 1 million and more for one guy who stands in front and tells us stuff, instead of us spending that money on ensuring that we have a food garden, we have food banks, we have whatever stuff that we need to help people within the community, poor people, have food. Of course, they have air. Air is already provided by the trees, which again, we probably don't plant. So we're not even creating a better environment for ourselves and for the people that we should be caring about. And I'm wondering, I don't know the Bible. I'm trying to read it now so I can understand it, because I feel like I've been attacking it without actually understanding it. I think that's a very bad way, a very bad way to go into any argument, just to go into an argument just based on your emotional attachments or detachments or towards a thing, instead of actually understanding and actually re actually understanding was enough. Understanding a thing before you can actually attack it or critique it. Critique it is the better word. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to read it and understand it so that when I critique it, if I should critique it continually from there, then I know at least what I'm talking about, except for what I'm doing now. But I don't know if the Bible actually says that you should glorify your priest and buy him or her expensive things and make them feel like they're the very much closest people to God. And then I don't know, maybe my convictions against this thing were legit, even though they were probably not very well educated. But I don't know, I just think that we really need to reconsider this education that we have in our minds. These things that we've believed, these things that we continue to enslave ourselves with. Like, it is insanity to me to understand or to believe that I have to make sure that that person shows that they are better than me because they are the priest. Then no, honestly, I don't think that makes sense. And I think that we as society should be saying, oh, okay, guys, we are here, we're doing God's work. Why are there people around us who are still hungry? If we are saying we're doing God's work, then now I can say, okay, see, now that person is thinking. That person is now trying to progress society. But of course, we have something else. We have a completely different mass of people. You try to help people, and I think this Stockholm syndrome thing is much larger than you might have imagined it to have been, or I might have imagined it to have been. A lot of people within South Africa, especially black people, actually black people in South Africa, may mostly believe they're inferior. We have a massive inferiority complex. And what that does is it makes us not trust each other. You get into a place and there's a black person at the helm, and you just already don't, you have less trust for that, whatever it is that that person does. So that even if a person comes to you and they're black and they say, hey, look, we can actually turn things around. If you follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is the step. This is a 5-step plan that I have thought about. I have done a lot of consultation. I've done a lot of research. And this is what I think can help us get out of whatever situations we have as a society. You're probably not going to believe that. As a black person, you're probably not going to believe that. You might believe it if it comes from a white person, but if it comes from a black person, you're probably not going to believe it. And then if it does come from someone that you believe, fine. But then you're probably not going to want to do it if he says, okay, this is going to take us 5 to 10 years for us to see the results. You're going to be like, nah, I don't think that works for me. That time we do actually have 10 years. You're just going to rather buy something that you're going to finish tonight, like a drink, rather than actually spend your money on making a better environment, even if it takes time. But that's the sort of mentality we have. And I don't think that this is particularly a black man mentality. I think that this might be a universal mentality. And I think that it might not be an inherent mentality, but it might be a mentality that is actually programmed. I think that's the word I was looking for. Programmed into us through many, many years, through many years of studying psychology and understanding the human psyche. People have been able to manipulate us, have been able to control us. People have been able to ensure that given choices, we are still going to make the option. We are still going to take the option that they want us to take. And we're given the illusion of free will, and we actually don't have it. And what that does is that when certain people realize that, okay, a lot of things are an illusion, this is what we must do actually in order to survive or in order to succeed. Everyone else works against it. And that is why there's a lot of people who actually try to be activists. A lot of people actually try to help people. But because of the amount of resistance that you get, and there's a lot, I don't think I can state enough how much resistance comes with trying to help people. It is a lot. You find a lot of people giving up. I know my mom has tried to help people, try to help a certain family in the neighborhood, and she wasn't really accepted or appreciated for that. I know a friend's mom who's tried to help certain kids who could recognize as, okay, these guys are really struggling. Let me help now, make them some food packs, just I have some extra money to spare. Let me do that for them. She had a lot of backlash for that. There's probably many other examples that I could probably think of, and you probably know that you've seen, that you've experienced. And there's a lot of backlash, a lot of resistance from the people that you're trying to help. Not even that resistance is coming from far away. People are coming, hey, we're not. No. The exact people that you're trying to help are going to be the exact people that are going to crucify you for trying to help. Crazy world we live in. But for those of us who believe, for those of us who hope, for those of us who want to see change, I'd like to implore you to continue. I'd like to implore you to stay true. I'd like to implore you and to ask you and to beg you, in fact, to not give up. We need you. They need you. They just don't know it. If you are a believer of the Word and of God and of Jesus, I think it's said that Jesus, when he was on the cross, said that, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I do believe that certain stories, if not all of them in the Bible, actually teach valuable life lessons, psychology lessons. And I think in this case, if you are someone who's trying to change things, who's trying to help people, and you're getting a lot of backlash, forgive them, brother. Forgive them, sister. For they know not what they do. Thank you for watching.